Okay, thank you from the organizers to be able to give a talk here on guarantees of origin. This is based on a doctor thesis written by my colleague Hanne Rådal, and also it's based on the European research project called REDIS, R-E-D-I-S-S. So there are a lot of questions being brought up, and I cannot answer all of them in 5 minutes now, but I will try at least to say something about the guarantees of origin. And the system is, you probably know already, there are two alternatives. You have on the bottom there electricity market, the physical market, and then you have a parallel economic market, which is a guarantee of origin market. And in fact, these certificates are time limited, okay? So they are canceled every year. So not many people realize that. So if you have a carbon footprint that's going to be valid for 3 years, you have to buy certificates for 3 years, okay? So this is important. So it's based in 2 directives, the Renewable Energy Directive, and I'm not going to go into detail, and then Electricity Market Directive is about disclosure. So if a consumer, at least in Norway, comes to the authorities and asks what are the emissions for the electricity I buy, then you can go into the web page and there you find this cake diagram with all that gray, which is now, it's not going to be gray anymore, because in May at least we will have new calculations for Norway, and I hope for all other EU countries. And so guarantees of origin is included in this disclosure. So this we talked about already, Mary. So this is from a Norwegian perspective. Green customers, we sell off the low emissions, and the other customers, they do get a worse profile. Whereas if you're a German customer buying electricity, your emissions goes up to Norway, and we get it. Okay, so this is there's a good tracking system now in place. Here's a statistic. So it's rising quite rapidly, and now 60% of Norwegian's renewable energy production is sold as guarantees of origin. And I think it's quite important that we keep in mind that this is attributional LCA, it's not consequential. So you do not, when you make decisions on methodological issues in attributional modeling, you do not have to prove that the consequence in the market is positive, okay? So in the consequential modeling, you do have to take into account what is the effect of the method on the market, whereas attributional doesn't have that. Yeah, we can, you have to use average or specific mix depending on relevant financial contractual relations. And there's no requirement regarding additionality or reduction of emissions. So that's 2 separate discussions. So if I want to decide between mass or economic allocation or between different system borders, I don't have to look at the environmental benefit or data quality. I don't have to look at what is the environmental benefit of this data quality or that level of data quality. It's just in the LCA word, you don't have to prove environmental improvement. So the potential effects are, of course, that you give customers in all of EU the opportunity to mount renewable electricity. Thus, you're giving them market power, even though you might be a region where there's just coal-fired. And production of renewable energy will probably increase as a market is willing to pay more. And I don't see why the market will not respond to this when it responds to other factors. But just for guarantees of origin, no, the market will not respond. What is the logic? I don't understand. So the bad thing for us in renewable energy production countries is that we get sky-high emissions, and then we can finally start conserving energy in Norway. And if you've been in Norway, you will see that people just leave their lights on in the middle of the day or something. And so we hope that we can, for us, we can learn to conserve energy. And it can also supplement other measures. I think that guarantees of origin can be a good supplement to other reduction measures. Yeah. So as a conclusion, it's a voluntary environmental tool, and it's a very reliable system regulated by law. It can only be used if no double counting occurs. So if there is no residual grid mix, in my opinion, you should not use the systems in carbon footprint. So if you're in Germany, you want to have included your geos in your footprint, and if Germany does not have a residual mix, or Norway, where you buy from, does not have it, and it's not valid. And it fits attributional LCA modeling approach, allocates environmental value of renewable electricity generation to the customers who are willing to pay. So you create the mechanism for customer-driven demand. And it can supplement other measures. And allowing GEOs to be used in carbon footprint and LCAs is important for the system, I think. And finally, you have to give the system a chance. So if you want to read more about the project, Energy Trading and Environment, which is a PhD project of my colleague, here's a link. Thank you.